Hey everyone, I'm your host, Chanel Omari for 106.1 BLI, and we're here at the Daily Mail TV show, one of the highest rated shows right now. And we're here with a very special guest. You might have seen her on E! News, VH1, worldwide correspondent, and right now on the Daily Mail TV show, Alicia Quarles is in the building.
You gave me such a great intro. Thanks, friend.
How are you,
I'm
friend?
great. Welcome to our house.
Thank you, which I love, by the way. Everybody here's so nice and positive.
It's a positive vibe. And you and I have worked in the industry for so long.
Yes.
So to walk in and know all these wonderful producers from different shows, from the top down, you know that you're with a good team.
You've worked in this career so hard. I've watched you grow. What an incredible journey. It's been now over 10 years. Talk to me about what made you first fall in love with journalism.
Well, growing up, my dad is a journalist, so he was the first black newspaper president in the nation. So he worked for Gannett for 20 years, and that's when newspapers were very viable. We would move every 3 years. He was the fixer. So if the paper wasn't doing well, he would go on financially and fix it. So that's where I really fell in love with journalism. And then I went to USC and studied broadcast journalism. And I thought I wanted to be a Christian Amanpour. I wanted to be on the front lines. Got a job with the Associated Press, did hard news for 6 months. I was like, I'm gonna do the red carpet thing instead of report on, brutality every day. And that's when I switched over to the celebrity side.
That's so awesome. And speaking of celebrities, then you went to E! News, which is, by the way, every man and woman's dream job.
Yes.
And such an incredible, congratulations on that.
Yeah.
How was that experience being there? And maybe you could tell us about your favorite celebrity that you've ever interviewed.
It was a great experience because I was very intentional when I went there. I worked for the AP for 10 years. I started as a producer, worked my way up, and became the global entertainment editor. So I oversaw a staff of 70 people across formats. So I was responsible for everything. I put in the groundwork. So I knew I wanted to be on air, but it just wasn't happening for me. So I just said, you know what, I'm just gonna give it up right now. What's gonna happen is gonna happen. And then I got 3 really great job offers. I went to E! News because it's E! News, and also I loved my boss there, Bruce Perlmutter. And I went there because I had the training as a print journalist, but I wanted to be on air, and that was gonna be my training ground. And that's what I went there for. I was in the NBC family, and it was just a great experience. And I think probably some of my favorite memories are the things you wouldn't expect me to cover. Super Bowl.
Yes.
In New Orleans when there was a blackout.
Oh my God, that was the best.
And I was the only one on the field with Will Marfuji. He was shooting me and I was on the field and people were tripping out. They were like, how is this E-girl on the field? Literally tweeting that. Or Marshawn Lynch, when he wouldn't speak to anybody else during the Super Bowl in Arizona, only gave me an interview. So it's those moments where people don't expect these things out of you that happens.
You come from a family that had a successful journalism career. Do you feel like, some people say, oh, not just you, but even me, she got it overnight. Does it happen overnight, or do you have to put the work in?
I think there's no shortcuts, but people have different careers. You don't have to go to journalism school to be a journalist. Right. Some people, got it right off the bat. I had different skill sets. For me, I wasn't naturally great on air. I really had to work on that. I used to be afraid to write, but now I just wrote my first magazine cover story on The Rock.
Oh my God!
Thank you. So these are things that I had to overcome, and I'm not saying everybody has that trajectory, but looks can go away, connections can go away, beauty fades, as I said, but nobody can take away your intelligence and your fundamentals. I remember I was covering the Oscars for E! Vanity Fair red carpet, and I interviewed Mindy Kaling. So I'd done all this research, and she had said in an article the day before, I think to Rolling Stone, I'm a little nervous to walk the carpet because she was joking. I'm gonna be known as that Indian woman who dates only white guys. So I asked her about it, but I didn't put into context. She had just said, I said, hey, so what color do you like to date? She answered it. She called me a beautiful, princess afterwards, but Jezebel picked it up, and they picked it up with that clip. And I go, and this went on and on. It went on and on and on for weeks. Like, is she racist? And I was like, the question was valid. And I was talking to my dad. I go, why does this have so much legs? And he goes, because you assumed the viewers knew what you knew. He goes, you didn't tell the viewers about what she had said. You just asked the question. And he goes, it's timing, but also you're there to inform the viewers, so don't assume people know what you know. Be very thorough.
Talk to me a little bit about the struggles and obstacles you had to overcome being a woman in this industry, being young and youthful and a professional, and I come from diversity and ethnicity, woman of color. Talk to me about if those things ever got in your way, and how did they make you feel if they did? Like, what can you teach us as our audience to have some hope?
I guess because I grew up with a family of journalists who was very much, diversity should be in a newsroom. That was instilled in me. My mother works for the Gates Foundation, so it was all about diversity. I took it as a different mindset. I never saw it as a disadvantage. I saw it as an advantage. So when I worked at the Associated Press, I had a few things going against me, and my friend now that has my former job, she's the global entertainment editor now, also a black woman. We were doing a summit, and I said, somebody said, well, how did you get that job, and how did you face it being a woman, a black woman? She said, honestly, I don't think that was Alicia's biggest hurdle. I think it was her age. So she said, you were a great boss, but you would walk into a room and people didn't take you seriously because you were running this department at 28 when everybody else was 50, 60, and older white men. So I just always used it to my advantage, and I always drove home the importance of having different minds, different views. And I told my staff when I got that job, listen, a lot of you, I've worked alongside. A lot of you have more experience than me, but I will fight hard for you, and nobody will fight for you like I will. And so that's how it made it work for me.
And then you got to Daily Mail TV, which is, by the way, renewed for a second season.
Yes.
You're up for Emmys.
2 Emmys, yes.
2 Emmys, and it's #1 on the news show nationally, not only locally. So congratulations on that. Talk to me about that feeling. Like, what does that feel like to finally say, like, all this hard work paid off and people are appreciating me and recognizing me and respecting my work?
You just feel grateful and you feel humbled.
How were you picked? Were you seeked out by, or just kind of like happened within your worlds colliding?
My good friend Pandora, who is the fashion editor, had me meet, she introduced me to Sean, who's the head of PR here. He even brought me in to meet with Matt Strauss and Eric and Carla and Rich and all these people. And I just was on air one day and they called me in again and they kept calling me in and it felt right and it felt good. And I just, like that Jesse has other jobs. Everybody here is doing other things. It's smart content I get to write, and I was like, this is it.
And switch gears a little bit. Let's talk about dating and love life, because I think you have a lot of admirers. How do you balance your dating life and your professional life, because it's so demanding?
I thought I was doing it really well for a long time. I'm 36, so I married my college sweetheart when I was 27. He was 25, and I was working really hard, but I thought that we were working together, and really, I think he started to resent me, and obviously I started to resent him, and it became very toxic. He's a wonderful person, and I love him, but I wish I would have worked as hard on my marriage as I did on my own work. So looking back, I failed myself in that sense, but life goes on, and so, you date again, I'm dating now, and you just have to be kind to yourself. And I think for so long, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe that I failed at marriage. You feel like a failure. Dating's not easy, as we know in New York.
Is it, and especially being a public figure and on camera, is it challenging?
Yes, I think it's challenging for women, period, and men too. Let's just say that. It is challenging, yes, being a public figure. It's challenging because our schedules are so all over the place.
Right.
It can be very intimidating for somebody to, have to be in your shadow sometimes.
Yeah.
It's intimidating, or it's hard for people when you're a workaholic, so all those things. But at the end of the day, I'm not gonna cut myself down anymore. I love me, I love what I do, and I know I'm a good person. If the person's out there for me, they're out there for me.
Talking about dating tips, what would you say for a woman, whether she's a celebrity or not, living in New York City or in a big city, how to date?
Okay.
5 tips.
Okay, 5 tips. This is gonna sound very, women are probably gonna hate me for saying this, but my parents have been married for, 64, so my mom's 45 years. God bless. God bless. So sometimes you gotta know, we're boss women because we have to be in New York. But when I'm not a little woman at home, but I know when to fall back.
Right.
Sometimes it's just not worth it. Just fall back. That's one thing. Number 2, instead of focusing on what you don't like about the person, because you get in a relationship, you start nitpicking. Start writing down one thing every day that you really appreciate about that person, and focus on that. Make sure you have a life outside of that person, because I think it's great when they have a life and you have a life and you can have your lives together. Have a date night once a week. Have a date night. You make time for everything else, have that date night. And I think, what else? Don't date somebody that's not close to their family, particularly their mother, if she's still living, or whoever raised them, because they're not gonna treat you well, I don't think.
I love that, and that's very sage advice.
Yeah, that's all I
And AliciaQuarles.com, by the way, for more advice of that. And then, okay, let's talk about fashion. You are a fashionista and a fashion icon. You're always walking the carpets, and whenever you're wearing, whether it was E! News, VH1, Daily Mail TV, we love your outfits. If you have a few tips, doesn't have to be 5 or 3, but a few tips for a woman on a budget who's in the public eye, or running to a job, going from happy hour to a job to going out, what would you say?
Jeans, cheap jeans. I only wear $20 jeans. They are all from American Eagle. They're $20 and they look good. They have holes, well, they're probably teenager jeans. Invest in a good pair of black pants, right? A good white tee, a nice blazer, and some flats. Keep it pushing. That's just simple and always a statement jewelry. or a pop a lip. That just keeps it simple, classy, cute, day to night. I really love working for a global organization, a large organization that's always breaking news, and that's what we do at Daily Mail and Daily Mail TV. For example, right before Meghan Markle's wedding, we broke the news of her father, arranging with photographers to stage photographs and being paid for those photographs, and it really just blew this story wide open, and everybody else had to follow our lead, the news that we broke. So that's just a little example of some of the news and the impact that we had.
Talk to me a little bit about, so I know that you're also very heavy in the social scene. You're going to a lot of events, a lot of projects. Any new projects we can look out for just yet, or?
Yes, I think to whom much is given, much is required. So I spend a lot of my time volunteering. So I work a lot with Bright Pink, which is a great organization. It's about breast and ovarian cancer prevention and early detection. So we're doing a lot of fundraisers this summer. I also do a lot with the ASPCA because I love animals. So those are my two summer passions. Just trying to raise awareness and help those who can't help themselves.
And I love that. And on that note, how important is it to give back and humble yourself in this?
It is beyond important to give back. I don't care if you are working at McDonald's. I don't care if you are the president. We're, as humans, right? We're all required to give back, especially in this city. This city's hard enough. You feel alone sometimes. Our industry is hard enough. It takes nothing to give back. It takes nothing to be nice. And I think so much we get so caught up in our own selves and our own things. When you give back, you realize how grateful you are. You are. And also, a lot of people blow smoke up your ass in this industry. So when you volunteer, you remember it's not that serious.
So we're gonna change gears a little bit. We have our BLI Summer Jam concert coming up. It's one of the biggest summer jams for 106.1 BLI, but also for iHeart. We're gonna have like Meghan Trainor, Shawn Mendes, Marshmello. You're coming with me. Backstreet Boys is coming and reuniting, so that's gonna be great. Talk to me about like a little bit, what are you excited to see from the concert? It's in our Jones Beach Theater every year. And talk to me about how important music is to you in your life.
Music is everything. I mean, music, you need those artistic outlets, right? So you need to read, you need to listen to music, you need to write, you need those things just to fill your soul. So music is everything to me, and we're always reporting on music. Yeah. Also, let's just remember, Backstreet Boys was my high school days. Yes. So I might be in my prime. I love what Meghan Trainor represents, the fact that she said, look, I don't fit into this category, I'm gonna do me. And then Jones Beach it's just a great outdoor, beautiful venue. It's summertime, it's gonna be so much fun. And music makes you feel good. You don't go to a concert and feel bad, you're just happy. The other question I had is, what is your favorite kind of genre of music? First of all, I love all music. I'm not joking. Like growing up, every house we had the speakers in, so my dad would wake us up on Saturday morning with music playing. Now, because of my job, I have to cover a lot of stuff. I might be one of the few black people that really likes country music. Let's be real, I like trap music.
I love to.
That's my jam. You're right, I like to turn up a little bit. I like a little bit of everything. I mean,
top 40 hip hop.
Yeah, top 40 hip hop. NSYNC. But I also like SZA. There's just so much good stuff out there. Childish Gambino.
Cardi B.
That album.
I can't. So what do you think about that album?
Everything.
Thank you so much for being here. We love you. Guys, check out AliciaQuarles.com for more info and more tips. Stay tuned.